A very good morning to all, our chief guest, eminent speakers, and the participants. I, Dr. Vishal Jain, on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management, New Delhi, welcomes you all for 2 weeks online refresher course on Engineering, Physical Science, and Management during 22nd June to 3rd July, organized by IEEE Delhi section and AICTE Industry Institute Partnership Cell of BVICAM. In collaboration with IEEE Computer Society Delhi section, CSI, Safa Society, and IST Delhi section at BVI Camp New Delhi. I hope and pray that all is good with you and your family. During this difficult time, as the global COVID-19 pandemic is still peaking around many countries. The objective of this course is to nurture the research aptitude and competency development of the young faculty members having less than 15 years of experience, either doing research or planning to undertake research work under the domain of engineering, physical science, management, and other subjects of allied science, including MTech scholars. In this refresher course, there will be the technical sessions on the latest topics by the experts from the academia and the industry. I welcome the Professor Prerna Gaur ma'am, Chairman IEEE Delhi section. I request ma'am to please share few words and enlightening us. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vishal. Uh, Thank you, Professor Aman Huda, for inviting me to the inauguration of this FDP. And I am highly obliged. And it's my utmost pleasure that I am sharing this inauguration session with Professor P.B. Sharma. He has
Vishal,
been
Patna ma'am is audible.
So, ma'am, can you please raise your volume of the mic? Please increase the volume of your mic, ma'am, please.
I'm audible.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
now you're audible, please.
Okay. So it's my pleasure to share this platform with Professor P.B. Sharma. He has been inspiration to me throughout my academic life, and I welcome all dignitaries in this room today, and Honorable Vice Chancellor of Amity, Manesar, Professor P.B. Sharma, Professor Aman Huda, and Dr. Vishal Jain, and the team who is organizing this FDP, and the faculty members who are attending this FDP. And Professor Huda and his team has been very vibrant in this pandemic situation throughout. And I have seen that it is fourth FDP organized by this team, and the faculty is immensely getting exposure to many eminent speakers. And since this activity is sponsored by IEEE Delhi section, I would like to say a few words about the section. IEEE Delhi section is having around 4,000 membership, in which around 1,000 professional members and um, around 3,000 student members. We have very vibrant executive committee. We are organizing around 200 activities throughout the year, including technical, professional, and academic activities. And uh, IEEE in itself is a largest society in world. It has around 4 lakh members all over the world. We are in region 10, that is Asia Pacific region, and Delhi section covers four states and two union territories, and we have 19 society chapters and four affinity groups. We have around 100 student branches, and the branches are also regularly organizing many activities. These are in technical and professional nature. So in this way, they are getting many values to their lives, and it helps in enhancing their career. And in the end, I will not take much time, because we all would like to listen to Professor P.B. Sharma's talk. It is very insightful. So I congratulate Professor Huda and his team for giving this session to the faculty members. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words.
Thank
I welcome Professor J.K. Bawkal, sir, President, Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE, New Delhi. And I request sir to please share a few words and enlightening us with your wisdom knowledge, sir. Please.
Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Chief Guest of the function, Professor P.V. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of Amity University, other chairmen of the different professional bodies like IEEE, and my friend Dr. M.N. Hoda, who has invited me. The common platform between us is he is also active member of IET, and apart from that, I was also associated with Bharati Vidyapit. I was the principal of Bharati Vidyapit College of Engineering, Mumbai. So that way we are from the same family. So it is like coming once again back to MICA. Now, these 2 weeks FDP. Now FDP is why it is essential. Why AICT felt like it has to be FDP for the teachers having less than 15 years experience. Now taking this FDP, now teaching to trainers, they are already trainers and they don't have habit to listen to others. So very difficult for the people who will be conducting this session. Conducting session for a student is not that difficult because they know like it is going to be guru. But here we have to teach to guru. So I think I have seen the galaxy of experts who are like taking this subjects wise. I've seen very good topics also has been, and it is more or like physical sciences, engineering, and management. So it has covered maximum era. Society from which I come as a president is IET. So our main mantra was like reaching to unreached. So those who cannot afford to have like paying huge fees and coming to this engineering or management colleges in regular stream. So MHRD those days accepted those students like those people who passed 10th class and they go to after SSC they go to job. So they can complete during the job their diploma that we used to call as a deep IET. Then those who have completed diploma, but due to their family background, they could not complete their degree. So we used to have MIT, which is equivalent to a BTech. Then we started with one course of ALCCC, which is like post graduation in computer engineering. So this was actually started, and we have so many students, and we have 63 centers all over the India, and one at Nepal and one at Australia. We have flagship programs. We conduct two flagship programs. One is called AIC, Annual IET Convention, at the end of every year in the month of September, and MTS, Wisdom Symposium. And for our other corporate members and student members, we generally, in ISF members also, we generally conduct conferences, symposia, and lecture series to keep them updated for the industry ready. So all in all, so we generally feel like not only this, but we have very good journals with good impact factor, and that is called Journal of Research, wherein almost all academicians recommend for PhD, MTech, you should publish your paper in IET journal. The beauty of another journal for which is journal for student is, in other cases, if you want to publish your paper, you have to pay certain fees, processing fees. But in journals of student, we generally give them reward for their articles. So this is how actually IIT works. I wish all the best for this FDP, and I thank the organizing committee in general, and in particular, I thank Dr. M.N. Hoda for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. I would like to invite Professor Aman Huda sir, Director BVICAM New Delhi, for the welcome address and background note of 2 weeks online refresher course on engineering, physical science and management. Sir, please.
Good morning to all of you. It's my proud privilege to welcome first our honored guests today. Friends, the very first I take this privilege to honor none other than Honorable Chief Guest Professor P.V. Sharma sir, who has been the architect of the modern education in this country, and not only the modern education coupled with the all spirituality, science, technology, and that today we need. Sir, I'm extremely thankful to you for having accepted my invitation readily and always mentoring us for whatever program and whatever request we keep on putting forward before you. Thank you so much, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome my learned friends from President of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, Professor J. BVICAM, my friend Mr. R.K. Vyas, President of Chemical Society of India, my friend Professor Inaugural, Chairperson of IEEE Delhi section, my colleagues from Bharati Vidyapeeth, and participants, 100 plus participants from all parts of the country and abroad. Friends, it's a matter of great privilege to welcome you all during the inaugural session of this 2 weeks refresher program on engineering, physical sciences, and management. At the outset, let me admit to all of you that the kind of the changes in the world which has happened on account of COVID-19 pandemic is unprecedented and probably the first in last 100 years which has changed the entire world order. And that's how it is said that when something is changing very fast, then at that moment also you must realize that what best can be done for the benefit of the academic community. And that's how a great poet has said that आशियाने से बढ़कर है फिक्रे चमन, आशियाना तो फिर बना लेंगे हम, एक उम्मीद की लौ सलामत रहे, 100 दिए इस दिए से जला लेंगे हम. इसी बैकग्राउंड के साथ, इसी एक्सपेक्टेशन के साथ, with the same expectation, we have launched this 2 weeks refresher program for the faculty members working in different institutions, and to ensure that those faculty members should not feel that because of COVID-19 we are isolated, because of COVID-19 we are not connected to the mainstream, and learning in some way or other is being stopped. So the learning must continue. The learning must go on. That's what is the purpose of this. Having said that, let's understand, friend, that the outbreak of corona, which has halted the entire world, is certainly very unfortunate, but is a result of our unbalanced lifestyle in the ecosystem of so-called advanced and developed civilization. Decades old share of great poet Bashir Badr is reminding me that Bashir Badr ने शायद 40 साल 45 साल पहले ये कहा था कि कोई हाथ भी न मिलाएगा जो गले मिलोगे तपाक से, कोई हाथ भी न मिलाएगा जो गले मिलोगे तपाक से, ये नए मिजाज का शहर है जरा फासले से मिला करो. Friends, when I am talking of नए मिजाज का शहर है, so when I am again reminding to all of us the situation that entire world is changing and changing very fast. The entire world order is changing very fast. And that's how I keep on discussing with all my colleagues, with all my friends, that there is nothing constant in this world except change. Change is the only constant phenomena. Change is inevitable. And if we do not change in time, possibly the market forces, the competition, the external factor will change us. If I ask you that how many of you have Nokia feature phone now, possibly the answer will be less than 10%. But had I asked the same question maybe 10 years ago, possibly the 90% would have replied me yes. That tells us that change is inevitable, and as a service provider, as a technologist, as a visionary people, we must realize that what are changes happening, what are the writings on the wall. If we do not read proactively those writings on the wall, possibly the ecosystem, the changing ecosystem will change us the way the strong and huge, robust brand like Nokia can be replaced. If Nokia can be replaced, then anything and everything can be replaced. The second example, if I ask you, till 15th of March, how many of us were using Zoom, were using WebEx, were using Office 360 team, Office team, were using GoToMeet, were using other such platform for digital and online meeting. Possibly using is a different aspect. Probably many of us might not be knowing that these are the online digital learning platform and online meeting platform which can be utilized for such kind of online and digital learning. But the kind of the ecosystem, the kind of the changes which in the ecosystem was brought in within a month, within almost a week time, we all have switched, and now it is almost 2.5 months. All of us are habitual of using it. That's how the change keeps on coming, and that's how it is said that इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ते बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? क्योंकि हम खुद को नहीं बदलते. And I'm talking क्योंकि हम खुद को नहीं बदलते. I'm reminded of this two couplets of the great poet Mirza Ghalib from the same city of Delhi. That उम्र भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और मैं आईना साफ करता रहा. आज जो जमाना आ गया है, जो वक्त आ गया है, हम सारे लोग पता नहीं कोविड के बारे में अभी भी डिनायल, एंगर के मोड में दिख रहे. फ्रेंड्स, वी विल हैव टू लर्न दैट a new normal is coming up. You'll have to accept the new normal, and if we do not accept the new normal, we'll have to at least understand that all these kind of pandemic are nothing but the result of our own arrogance, our own understanding that we are the God on earth, and probably because of advancement of the technology, no one else will be in a position to stop me. And that's how the nature comes forward and try to balance everything. And that's how a great poet says that कुदरत तेरा रूठना भी जरूरी था, इंसान का घमंड टूटना भी जरूरी था. हर कोई खुद को जमीन पर खुदा समझ बैठा था. इंसान का ये भरम टूटना भी जरूरी था. That's how, friends, the entire background of this changing ecosystem is there. When I'm talking of changing ecosystem and this refresher course and the theme of this refresher course, possibly we are reminded to this situation that the kind of the period with which we are going on is the period of Industry 4.0. I will not go into the detail of Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Rather, straight away will come to Industry 4.0. And as a fundamental difference between Industry 3.0 and 2.0, that Industry 3.0, in Industry 3.0, the business model is important. Business model is the center. The technology will keep on revolving around the business model, as against Industry 3.0, that the business model used to revolve around the technology. Gone are those days. Now, if you see in last 10-15 years, the kind of the disruptive applications which has come up has disrupted, has proven wrong almost centuries old traditional business model. And the moment it is proving wrong or disrupting all existing traditional business model, our educational system is no exception. Educational system will also get disrupted, and that's how the beginning has started. I was talking to my friends almost this last 10 years that the existing face-to-face teaching, the existing system in which we teachers will force their students to come to the classroom and attend classes and give 75% attendance will be the past glory, will be things of past, and possibly in coming days we won't be in a position to afford to force the students to come to the classroom. And I was expecting that this order will come, might be by 2025, but the nature has taught us the lesson that no, the moment he wants to bring the change is brought. And the order has come right in 2020 itself, at least 5 years advancer, 5 years before than what they expected in our country, India, as well. So having said that, under the changing technological environment, if we see the entire educational system is going to change, and the beginning of the change has already been started. Gone are those days when we will be in a position to admit students for entire 4-year program, 4-year degree program, and we will keep on getting the fee for entire 4 years. Those days have gone. Now, under the backdrop of Industry 4.0, in which the business model is important, in which the technology will keep on revolving around the business model, the important will be that in the institution we will have to understand that the students are our customers, and institutions, universities will have to be run like an enterprise. when I'm saying this, that the students are our customers and institutions, universities will have to become like an enterprise, I'm meaning thereby that any student may come to me and tell me that you have a BTech program 4 years in computer science and engineering, and you are prescribing this 42 courses to be studied in this. But sorry to tell you that out of these 42, 28 only means to me correctly. And for rest of the courses, I will choose from other baskets, may not be from computer science, maybe from mechanical engineering, maybe from music, maybe from arts and humanities, maybe from liberal arts, and will finally be earning the same number of credits. So friends, gone are those days when one specific scheme for any specific degree, which will be as a university, as an institution, will be launching, and the same degree will be accepted to every customer. Gone are those days. Not only this, I'm visualizing on top of it that it might also be possible, because this kind of flexibility will need to be brought into the system. It might also be possible that a student who is admitted, in a 4-year degree program at my institution will study 1 year at my institution, will tell me, now you transfer my credit to some other institution. I wanted to study 1 semester at some other institution. He will go for next semester to some other institution. Will make payment of fees there, not to me. Then again he will move to some another institution, will make payment of fee there and will not make payment to me, and might come back in 3rd year to my institution, again 4th year to some other institution. What am I talking? Am I talking of portability of students, the way we thought about mobile number portability, MNP? In the same way, portability of a student. And if this kind of flexibility is happening under the backdrop of Industry 4.0, in Education 4.0, imagine what will happen to those institutions who are meeting all their expenditure, particularly the self-financing institutions, meeting all their expenditure by the fee of the students. What will happen to these kind of institutions? That's the backdrop because of which this refresher course has been kept. That is the genesis because of which this refresher course have been organized to sensitize to all of you. Friends, gone are even those days when we teachers, we university will put up any schedule for examination and ask a student that about this 10 days schedule have been put, or maybe 2-week schedule has been put, and all of you are supposed to write your papers based on this schedule. Gone are those days. Now students may come up and tell, I'm not prepared to give examination. I'm not ready enough to give examination. I will come back and tell you when my exam is to be scheduled, and that is where we will have no option but to schedule examination based on the demand of the student. And that's how I think Professor P.V. Sharma sir will rightly throw light on this, that UGC also started thinking, can we have demand-driven examination, in which instead of we announcing a schedule, let students come forward and tell me that now I'm prepared for so and so 2 courses, and can you assess me and give me my credit? That's the kind of future. That's the kind of Education 4.0. That's the kind of flexibility. That's the kind of portability we are expecting. With this much portability, with this much flexibility, if our institution will be offering, possibly you'll be relevant in Education 4.0. Otherwise, you'll become irrelevant. Otherwise, we will become redundant. Otherwise, there will be no takers. And this might be possible because of all these flexibility in coming days. That out of XYZ universities, X university will have enough number of candidates whom they can't accommodate. YZ university will be having no students, no candidate for admitting or for teaching. That's the kind of market-driven environment we are expecting. And the beginning has started. All of us have to believe in this. I can keep on speaking on this subject, which is so dear to me, Education 4.0 and Industry 4.0, and the kind of the flexibility which we are expecting in entire education system. But I will stop here for the purpose that I have a very honored guest, Professor P.V. Sharma sir, the existing Vice Chancellor of Amity University, the past President of Association of Indian Universities, the former Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, and the former Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi Pratyogiki Vishwavithyalaya Bhopal, and in fact the architect of modern education, coupling the modern education, scientific education, science and engineering with spirituality. We want to listen him today, and will any other time I will speak again on rest of the details on Education 4.0. But friends, at the end, I wanted to remind you the entire world order is changing, and under changing world order, gone are those days when the typical definition of educated people, that if you can read, write, and speak, you are considered as educated, is no more valid. The new definition in digital age of educated people is if you can learn, unlearn, and relearn, then only you will be considered as educated. So bind it as a philosophy and consider it as a philosophy. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Or probably we have unlearned face-to-face education in last almost 2.5 months. Relearning new mechanism of digital education. I take this opportunity again to welcome all my honored guests, all the participants from different parts of the country. 103 have already logged in. I think few are still thinking to log in. 10 plus registered people are there in this particular program. So consider this platform as a very important, as a very fruitful, as a very meaningful platform. Interact with the help of the chat window. Even during the question answer session, you can unmute your mic and interact with the speakers. Interact with the speakers, derive maximum benefits, because at the end of the program, no one will ask you how good the speakers were. No one will ask you that how good the organizers were. No one will ask you that how organized the entire program was. Rather, everyone will ask you, what did you learn out of this program? So my message to all of you, let's make it as a learning platform. Let's make it as some platform which should give you some takeaway. And the moment you are taking away this takeaway, do not restrict it to yourself. Share it with your colleagues. Share it with your student. See to it that we are under the changing environment. We are keeping ourselves relevant. We are keeping ourselves. We are not allowing ourselves to become redundant. On this note, I will conclude that the entire changing ecosystem is before us. We have to keep ourselves relevant in the changing ecosystem. We have to keep ourselves very up to date into the changing ecosystem. All these professional societies who have helped me to collaborate, I'm thankful to all those professional societies. I have IET, Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers. I have then Computer Society of India. I have IEEE. I have IEEE Computer Society chapter of Delhi section. I have Safa Society. I have Indian Society for Technical Education. And then the entire program is being organized under Industry and Institute Partnership Cell, IIPC of AICT. On the funding of the AICT, the IIPC cell was started almost 11 years ago, which is continuing these kind of activities. Friends, Bharati Vidyapeeth keep on organizing events. Please keep on visiting the website. You will keep on getting details from the website in terms of webinars, in terms of FDPs. And we also organize an IEEE approved international conference in terms of IndiaCom. And on top of it, we also publish a journal. Now Springer has started co-publishing that journal under the name of BJIT. And if you subscribe to journal through a Springer, it will cost you $6,000. If you subscribe as a library from us, it will cost you 6,000 rupees for 1 year in India. But to all the valued participants of this particular program, all the papers of the journal are freely available under your member area. Once you log in with your member ID and password which you have created, you can access to all the papers, the current paper and the prior papers that are free of cost. So utilize this benefit. Keep on reading. Utilize this environment, this time when you are at home. Most of you are working from home. Most of you are, when you are in the university, you are also understanding that from the university, the students' interaction has gone down. So with the help of online and digital learning, you can make it as a learning platform. And if you find the journal useful, please ensure that you recommend it to your library for the purpose of subscription. Thank you so much, sir. And we'll meet again. Thank you so much. Dr. Vishal.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. I welcome Professor R.K. Vyas, sir, President, Computer Society of India, Mumbai. I request sir to share a few words and enlighten us. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody. I am sorry to be late because I was involved in some other meeting at 9 in Sapmi Institute at Gujarat. So this is a very welcome step that Professor Huda is conducting so many faculty development programs. Last week we were in the validations of one of the program which ended on the last Friday, and it was very well attended. and this with the collaboration of the professional society like Computer Society of India, IET, and other professional societies, we are able to attract a lot of faculty members all over the country. And I see, when I see the background, I see the more and more faculty development program. I thought ki after 1 or 2 months, the numbers will decrease, but I am finding the numbers are increasing day by day. And I must say, and this arena of COVID-19 has given a lot of opportunity to the faculty members all over the country to really join and connect and get some equipped with the latest technology of education 4.0, industry 4.0, and management in engineering sciences and all those things, all those topics, which basically when we were conducting a lot of physical activity programs, they had got constraints of not being relieved by by their own institution or for traveling, staying, and all many more things. But all these things, all these barriers are gone due to the blessings which we got in disguise by this pandemic. One more thing I must say, that all these things we could conduct in very short span of time. Immediately after the lockdown, all of turned our table from physical meeting to the connected meeting or the virtual meetings. If this UGC or AICTs or any other organization would have told us 6 months back that we have to move to the online modes, we must have raised a lot of questions and lot of committees and many more queries would have been there. But I think this has given us a very good preparation and the lesson how we can convert all these activities in the virtual mode, and in time to come, when Professor Huda has rightly says, now there will not be any schedule of the classes, there will not be any schedule of the examinations, or there will not be any schedule of the vacations, etc. All those things will be demand oriented. How the faculty member, how the students, how the professionals are demanding. When a professional is free to impart an education or free to impart a training to a group of faculty members of the students of the institution, that can be arranged any given time. So the time has come that the bounding syllabus, the hard-bound syllabus, hard-bound examination schedules, and all this has to be really relooked and rechanged and remodified under the pertaining circumstances. And we in the professional societies like the CSI, IET, IEEE, etc., we all professionals and the faculty members involved on these platforms are really uh, thankful to many of the institutions like Bharati Vidyapeeth and other institutions who are really giving the professionals a chance to interact with the faculty members and the students at the various stages. And we all come together and we are committed to have hands on hand with all the institutions in the country to impart these type of information technology, faculty development programs and webinars. With these words, I must thank Bharati Vidyapeeth to being conducting these programs, and it's given me pleasure to see Professor P.V. Sharma. And after so many days on the virtual platform, we met around 10 years back in Delhi, DTU, in one of the Computer Society of India programs, and then we had one of the program in Constitution Club also of Computer Society of India. And after so long, I am seeing him. Thanks to Professor Huda that I could review him through online virtual mode. I am also thankful to Professor J.W. Bakal, who is there, Professor Prerna, and many other faculty members who are there from the various professional societies. Thank you very much, and have a nice FDP for next 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. Today we have a great privilege for all of us for having Professor P.B. Sharma, sir, Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Manesar, Gurgaon, former VC RVP Bhopal, former VC DTU Delhi, former President Association of Indian University, New Delhi, with us as a chief guest of the inauguration session of Refresher course. Sir is an eminent academician who is the founder Vice Chancellor of DTU and RGPV and currently working as Vice Chancellor Amity University Gurgaon. A doctorate from University of Birmingham, he has made highly significant contribution to the growth and the advancement of technical and higher education. Research and innovations during his professional career, now spanning 51 years, I heartily welcome you, sir, at Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management. Now I request, sir, to please enlightening us with his knowledge and experience. Sir, please.
Let me at the outset express my profound happiness in being with you at this very important refresher course organized by Bharati Vidyapeeth in collaboration with IEEE, Computer Society of India, and also IETE. And I'm so delighted to be with you on the invitation of my very dear friend, Professor Huda, who is my strongest well-wisher and with whom I have my friendship for now lasting for almost 25 years. In fact, I should say that when I was principal of Delhi College of Engineering, the government of the day that time asked me what can be done to Delhi to make it a knowledge capital. I said that you open better some more engineering colleges. It was impossible at that time because the Delhi University was the only affiliating university according to the Act of Parliament, and therefore IP University was established, and then new colleges of engineering could thereafter become possible. And I happen to be the member of the committee that really approved the establishment of the new colleges of engineering, including Bharati Vidyapeeth. So I'm so delighted and excited to be connected with you, and I see great progress which has been made under the able leadership of Professor Hoda. I'm also equally delighted to have Professor Mr. Vyas, the president of CSI, and I have my very long-lasting relationship with CSI, going back to my days at Kashmiri Gate. At that time, there was no NESCOM, but Computer Society of India took initiative and they established Computers and Peripheral Manufacturers Association. And they invited me several times there to share my thoughts and vision on the future of computer science and IT. And I was so delighted. I'm so happy that uh, Professor Vyas is here. My own very dear Dr. Prerna Gaur is here. She has been spearheading the cause of IEEE from Delhi College of Engineering days to NSIT, and I'm so happy and delighted that she is also part of this very important refresher course. Last but not the least, Professor Jagdish Vakal, the president of IET, is also here in this very important refresher course. So you have a highly empowered, highly powered, I would say, refresher course for the teachers of colleges of engineering and technology, physical sciences teachers, and also teachers of management. This is one of the strongest high impact refresher course, I would say, has been put together with IEEE, IET, Computer Society of India coming together to offer new vision, new understanding to our teachers in great numbers. And I see 105 of them are connected to this program. So let me at the outset go back to what Professor Hoda has said. Professor Hoda said बदलाव का समय है एंड आई फुली एग्री विथ हिम कि बदलाव का समय आ गया है हमें बदलाव की पहल करनी है और बदलाव के प्रति पूरी समर्पण भावना से आगे आना है वी हैव टू कमिट अवर सेल्फ टू द चेंज which is knocking at our, on our doorstep, and this is now not merely desirable but a compulsion. And the compulsion because the kind of change which we want to really now ensure that it is to happen is in the way we teach and the way we create our teaching learning environment in our institutions. And therefore, पढ़ने पढ़ाने के तरीके को बदलने का समय है ऐसा मैं मानता हूँ. And that is why this very important refresher course, in my opinion, beyond the content of the course, which are very important, beyond the state of art of the domains of variety of technologies and sciences, it's very important that we create a lot of space in this refresher course to understand how do we go about from here and now in redesigning, rebooting, rethinking, and even reforming the way we impart education to our students in the class. Time has come where the value and worth of digital technologies and their integration in education is now being very well appreciated. And therefore, the very first integration which we need to now make is to integrate education with technology, education with digital technology, education so that it becomes really a real transformation whereby the education and digital technology together would be causing digital transformation in our higher education landscapes. That's the first integration I want to see. I also want to see integration of education and research to happen now more effectively than ever before, because the frontiers of knowledge and the requirement of the technology skills are ever changing, and it would therefore be very important for us to bring down the research instinct right from PhD level to the undergraduate level and even to the school levels. Research is no longer the monopoly of those who pursue PhD or postgraduate education. Research requires an inquisitive mind, a mind which can ask some searching questions, challenge the status quo and state of art, and go into the deep learning to understand what can be done and done much better. And that kind of research is something which is now possible at all levels, starting from schools to colleges and university. And we need to now effectively integrate education and research. Of course, we need to integrate academia and industry. It's very, very important. And Mr. Vyas has rightly highlighted that we have industry 4.0 plus requirement knocking on our doorstep. We cannot turn our eyes away from it. The latest technologies which are in demand in industry 4.0 revolution, that need has to be served, and we need to gear up to our new requirements of industry 4.0 education. But mind you, we in India, with all humility and full respect to Computer Society of India and IEEE and IET, may I submit to you that we jump on our feet much faster than anybody in the world. As a nation, we are 1.35 plus people, 1.35 billion people in our country. And we know for certain that Industry 4.0 is serving the cause of ultra high technologies and the automation of the kind it would cause on the shop floor and also in the service industry. And therefore, one of the greatest penalty which is being awarded by Industry 4.0 would be tremendous amount of job losses and losses of the conventional jobs which we had in great numbers in our country. So while on one hand we are excited about integrating the latest technologies and supporting the cause of Industry 4.0, we should not lose sight that for a nation like ours, we need to create jobs in millions and millions every year. I'm told that every month almost 10 lakh people are added in the job market in India. That's the kind of situation in which I and you are. And therefore, the recipe for the nation's development like India, in my opinion, lies in mounting education that can create new jobs, new enterprises, and could cause what I often call mass entrepreneurship, whereby millions and millions of people join the mainstream of small entrepreneurship, and that creates millions of jobs for the people both in the rural as well as in the urban area. I know that I have 70% population residing of my country in urban areas where Industry 4.0 would only reach with its products. But we need to now cause millions of job creation in the rural areas in order to see that their purchasing power goes up. And we must use the latest technologies over there. I want to take artificial intelligence to rural area. I want to take automation to rural area. I want to take really the latest technologies of blockchain and supply chain management to the rural area. And I want to cause millions and millions of enterprises to rise in the rural area where people are highly innovative and they are highly devoted also. So the responsibility which people like me and my friends who are in the colleges and university and my great teachers who are there in this great nation lies on putting together an education system that will respond to not only the needs of Industry 4.0, but the needs for creating millions and millions of jobs on the strength of mass entrepreneurship. Somewhere around 2012, when I was the Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, the bells of Industrial Revolution 3.0 were ringing. They were calling it Third Industrial Revolution. And the Third Industrial Revolution was supposed to be one of the most important revolutions that would cause rise of millions and millions of new enterprises. millions of jobs for people in India. And I wrote the country paper for third industrial revolution at that time for FICCI. And in the excitement and euphoria that was created at that time, somehow or other, has been given a go by now because of empowerment coming for Industry 4.0 and the education to be tailor made accordingly. So therefore, I thought at this moment when we are redefining, rebooting, rethinking and reforming our education system and our teaching learning methodology, it would be important for us to keep in mind that the interest of our nation and for that reason interest of the great part of the humanity around the globe will be served by putting together an education system where creation of job and creation of enterprises becomes important. Having said this now, we have to go to step two and to understand what kind of engineering tomorrow is on the card. And I remember way back in year 2000, IEEE brought out a publication under the title Engineering Tomorrow because they were looking at 21st century and what kind of engineering would be required for 21st century. Great professional societies always do a lot of soul searching and visioning ahead of time in order to put together a roadmap with which the society should really inspire the education framework around the world. And at that time, the Engineering Tomorrow publication of year 2000 clearly focused on new technologies and new systems which will be created because of the new materials which will be coming, and we see the great advancement being made in that direction on the strength of nanoscience and technology and composite materials. Now they are driving the agenda of new manufacturing and manufacturing and design together, driving the agenda of new industries which are automated, which are integrated, and which have the capability to produce much more from much less, and therefore the cause of high productivity and quality and reliability is being well served. But at the same time, the engineering of tomorrow also address the issue of creating jobs for millions and millions of people, because ultimately the bottom of the pyramid, that is very, very important for a country like India, where we have something like 666 million people below the age of 25. They are the ones. And we have at the bottom of the pyramid highly poor people whose current earnings are not enough, in fact, to draw the best benefit of the most latest advances. We have to cater for that need. And therefore, engineering for tomorrow would not be just value for money, as it is seen by many, but it should be value for many. How do I create engineering which will create value for many and will benefit millions and millions of people who are otherwise not to see the benefits of engineering and technology of the very high order? So it is in that respect I have to look at engineering tomorrow, which will create the value for many in place of value for money. And therefore, I have to now focus on beyond Industry 4.0 and the artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, automation and blockchain technologies, etc. What do I do now to cause energy entrepreneurship, which will create millions and millions of jobs for my people? What do I do to cause wastewater treatment entrepreneurship, which will solve my environmental problem and at the same time creates multitude of jobs for my people? What do I do to cause a revolution once again in my agriculture sector, which will, besides producing much more and higher productivity, would really take the technology into my rural area and enable my farmers in great number to become far more informed, much better empowered with technology, and serve the cause of creating much more in terms of their productive employment, but also producing the very best value and best nutrition value for my people. I need to now look at millions and millions of jobs which I need to create on the strength of food technologies, on the strength of a variety of technologies which I can take into the villages. And I even on record to say that IT and IT enabled services which are thriving on the success of call centers and BPOs and a whole lot of services which are put together for supporting the community and the society and industry can very well make their inroad into the rural area. I want to see Computer Society and IEEE to beat the bells of rural IT and rural ITES so that we are in a position to penetrate deep into the rural area with the strength of IT and IT technologies and create entrepreneurship for millions and millions of people in these rural areas. And I can assure you, IT and ITS services require technologies which by and large are self-learned, and therefore the interactive capability of people and their intuitive mind allows them to learn many of these technologies by their own self-effort. So this is as far as engineering of tomorrow and creating jobs for plenty is concerned. Looking at the sciences of tomorrow is also very, very important. We have seen that sciences have come a long way during their march over the last 200 years or so. Now, today, of course, we have very strong physical sciences, but our entire effort of science has been in the direction of physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And we have neglected biology for a very long time as being part and parcel of PCM. Our focus in engineering was on physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And naturally, they have done a great job in taking our engineering and technology to this day. How do I now create much greater euphoria and integration of biological sciences into engineering and into my physical sciences and give a real boost so that tomorrow I'm able to manage the threat caused by microbial kingdom with which we are so much confronted at the moment? It's very important for us now to understand what physical sciences really are for and how to pursue them. When I was a student at the 10th or 11th level, at that time, physics was physics, chemistry was chemistry, mathematics was mathematics. But today, I have physics of chemistry and chemistry of physics, and likewise, I have mathematics for physics and mathematics for chemistry, mathematics for biology, and therefore, a whole lot of interdisciplinariness has come in science also as much as in engineering. And therefore, tomorrow my teachers, when they go back to the class in the first semester, they must sensitize our students about the integrative nature of sciences. How do I integrate sciences together and talk of physics, chemistry of physics and physics of chemistry and mathematics of biology and physics of biology or biochemistry so that I create that integrative science environment and understanding so that my students in the class are invigorated in their mind that the physical sciences are now giving us the bliss of integration of all sciences together and all engineering also together in the form of interdisciplinary engineering. The little mobile which I have is not just communication engineering, it's not just electronics only. It has a whole lot of computing, a whole lot of material technology, a whole lot of microelectronics, micro mechanical engineering, and a whole lot of chemistry, physics, and mathematics apart from are involved. And a whole lot of engineering are including integrated systems, and you have entire cyber security network system, all are part of this. So this is what I call convergence technology, where all engineering and all sciences, advances in all engineering and all sciences are driving, in fact, the advances in mobile technology. So you can imagine the value and worth of integration of sciences and integration of technology to drive engineering and sciences up together and their advancement and the benefit they bring to the common man. Looking at the management of tomorrow is also very, very important. Our management earlier was basically managing the businesses or managing the supply lines or managing the industries from the point of view of productivity and higher levels of profits. But today, I think management has to come to terms because 21st century is the century of people. And because it is the century of people, it is driven by the minds of the people. And therefore, the mind of people is very, very important for driving new businesses, creating new enterprises, and for managing people. We need now new understanding of management. Management is not just line of authority or hierarchy as it used to be. And today, I think we have to think of new ways of managing people. Managing people with atmita, managing people with affinity is something which is very, very important today. And if you do not understand the importance of atmita and its integration in management, you would fail really in managing a large size system like university or institutions like colleges, etc., and also shop floors where atmita becomes very, very important. Higher you go in use of technology and integrate people and technology together, their integrity, their commitment, their devotion becomes very, very important. And integrity, commitment, and devotion, they all require connect with atmita so that you give your very best for managing a particular activity which has been uh, assigned to you. And therefore, the best of the people will come out only by management with atmita, management with affinity. And you would then be able to excite their imaginations and self motivate them and cause that intrinsic motivation, the inner motivation, which is very, very important today in order to cause innovations. And managing these innovations require tremendous amount of self excitement. And let everybody be innovative, let everybody be an inspired mind, and all that require management with atmita, integrating in fact atmita into the whole lot of management systems. Having said this, let me say that i would be I would redefine the meaning of PCM. Rather than physics, chemistry, and mathematics, I would say P for people, C for their capabilities, and M for their maturity. And this PCM is something which is very important to NESCOM. It's very important to Computer Society of India. They define their standards not only as ISO 9000, but they call it CMM standards. CMM level 5 used to be when I was the vice chancellor of Delhi Technological University. And then it became PCMM, which means they realized that it is not just capability and maturity of people, it's people themselves are very important, and therefore it became PCMM rather than CMM kind of standard for our computer oriented and IT industry. So people's capability and their maturity becomes very, very important. So how do you create such like people in the educational institutions? By imparting education today, when the value and worth of technology and its integration has been better understood. Thanks to COVID lockdown, it has really brought on the forefront the value and worth of connectivity and value and worth of creating a virtual environment by which we are able to conduct our businesses and systems. And I'm very happy that the online classes have been truthfully and with a great devotion have been conducted by my teachers around the country, and the students also responded very favorably because they realize that the value and worth by which technology can facilitate a learning environment. But let me exercise a little bit of caution here. Tomorrow, when we go back to our basics and start integrating technology and digital environment in our teaching learning, it would be very important for us to realize that we are for a change now. It's no longer a system of one way delivery as it used to be. The teachers would not be seen merely as the siddhas and sages and seers on the stage. They would be seen as facilitators and rather mentors for creating a teaching learning environment. And therefore, involvement of students in enhancing the value and worth of the digital learning environment would be absolutely necessary. A teacher may have to go to the class now, in my opinion, and would open out by saying that I am here as much as you are for learning much more about what I'm going to teach. So teacher is here to learn. He would involve the student community to participate in this teaching learning environment. There would be more interactive learning. The students also would be asked to teach because many times they are far more imaginative in terms of new technologies and new systems. I often take help of my grandchildren, for example, in running the show. Even today, when I'm talking to you, I've invited one of the young students who is living in the campus here to come and support me so that there is no problem of connectivity when I'm speaking to you in this very important refresher course. So I think that one of the strongest change which we want to bring in our classroom now, that we want to involve the brightest of the bright students in teaching. Let teachers and students together serve the cause of creating that learning environment in the classroom, and also in the virtual learning also. There should be a whole lot of integration of a student community, drawing them into learning is required. Let teachers be courageous enough to say that I am here to learn from my students. Students are here to learn from teachers, and teachers and students together are here to learn from professional societies, from industries, and together we are here to drive the momentum for enhanced learning as well as advancing the frontiers of knowledge and technology. It is this kind of integrative learning environment, collaborative learning environment, which we now need to create in our educational institutions. Learning not only for knowing what exists, but learning to do is very important. And therefore, a whole lot of space we need to create now for self-learning, for case studies, for mounting number of minor projects, not just one minor, one major, or only major. Now we have to think of very many minor projects so that we are in a position to apply the knowledge which we receive in our classrooms and are able to create euphoria for application of knowledge. We are in the age of application, and therefore application development and new designs, new product development would require a whole lot of space for minor and major projects. And that way we would be able to drive the agenda for innovations, technology incubation, new startups, and every institution, in my opinion, can set up a small incubation center of, if not more, 10 by 12 room where students can come and plug in and sit together and advance their ideas into designs and prototypes and whatnot. Every institution must serve the cause of innovation incubator, new product development, and startups must roll out of institution. I want to see a day where every institution will be empowered with technology incubation, startup facility, focus on patenting also. Amity University, from where I am for the last nearly 5-6 years, one of the great things which I have brought in here, tremendous amount of love for sponsored research and development, solution research, patenting of ideas, and as a result, Amity today has 1,300 plus patents which have been filed by the faculty and students. And we have a whole lot of sponsored projects. In my own university, I have 30 crore worth of sponsored projects which are driving the agenda of relevant research directly focused onto the needs of my country and global needs. And this is what exactly we can do in every single university in our country. At this very important refresher program, let me extend my very best wishes to all the participants, the teachers who have volunteered in great number to be part and parcel of this program. And let me express my desire that this is a high-powered program where IEEE, IETE, as well as Computer Society of India, along with Bharati Vidyapeeth, are all together in order to create, in fact, a better understanding and better preparedness to offer education for engineering education of tomorrow, physical science education of tomorrow, and management education of tomorrow, and together driving the agenda of creating a bright future for the people around the world, especially for our own people who are looking towards us for driving the agenda of creating the new India, India of our dream. With these words, may I express my profound happiness once again and thank Professor Huda and his brilliant teams for thinking of me at this very important inaugural program. Thank you so much indeed. Very kind of you too for your patience hearing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. It is a great pleasure for all of us to listen you, sir, during this inaugural session of this 2 weeks refresher course. I thanks to all eminent guest members and all the participants to join the inaugural session. I give my special thanks to IEEE Delhi section, IETE, Computer Society of India, ISTE, and the Safa Society for having technical collaboration with us during this program. Thank you so much to all eminent members. And we have also next our speaker. So we can start our first technical session very soon.